The upcoming Zack Snyder movie Rebel Moon has released its first trailer of Part 1 A Child of Fire. Rebel Moon is a science fiction epic which has taken inspiration from Star Wars universe, but everything in the movie is going to feel original because of Zack Snyder. Well, this is not the end, because after 4 months we are going to get the sequel of the movie Rebel Moon Part 2 The Scargiver. This sequel is going to follow the story and moves it more further. So if you guys want to know about the Rebel Moon universe or about its character, the video link is in suggestions and also in description, but first let's watch this. The recently released teaser of Part 1 A Child of Fire has give us some details of how the first movie is going to move, and we are going to explore it frame by frame. The movie will follow a character named Cora who has some mysterious past in the movie. However, we know that Cora is a former Imperium leader, but she left Imperium due to some personal issues which we probably saw in the teaser. But as we know, Imperium and Mother World are not that kind of civilizations, who easily let go of their soldiers, so they make Cora world's most wanted criminal. Cora escaped by a ship from Imperium colony, which got crashed on the moon Beetle, where a farmer saved her. Velt was a settlement known mostly for their farming, so now Cora is living her life secretly on Beetle. But one day some Imperium ships comes on Beetle. According to Imperium Admiral Noble, they only want the food resources of Beetle to feed themselves, but Cora knows that they never get satisfied by these things. In the last they want everything. As Cora knows this is going to happen one day, she plans to leave the Beetle, but as soon she starts to leave, some Imperium soldier tries to harass Beetle famers. Cora can't face this to happen, so she tells them to stop. But they do not stop and tries to attack on Cora too. But I think they don't know that Cora is not a farmer, but she is a specialist fighter, so she just kill all the soldiers in front of the Velt farmers. Now Cora and every farmer on Velt knows that this is not going to go well, so Cora give assurance to protect them and tell them to fight with her. Cora knew that even if the farmers were ready, they could not fight the battle. Cora and Velt now only have 9 weeks before the Imperium return to collect the harvest, and before the upcoming battle starts. So now Cora and his farmer friend Gunnar start their journey to traverse the galaxy, and to gather a team of warriors able to fight back against the regime. But first Cora needs a ship and a pilot, so they first goes to look on Beetle, where they found Kai. By profession Kai is a mercenary pilot, who carry foods and peoples from planet to planet. So it's obvious that he has connections with people who can help them. But Kai is a supplier, or we can say a smuggler, so he only works for one thing, and it is money. But Cora and Gunnar convinced Kai to help them find warriors. Now Cora and his team goes planets to planets in different universes to gather some fighters, who can or who wants to fight against the Imperium. Cora and his team ventured to a planet with a gladiator ring, where they found Cora's previous ally, the once general, Titus. Titus was previously a general for the Imperium, the same as Cora. Titus had an experience with them that scarred him, causing him to leave and become a gladiator. When Cora began looking for help defending Velt, he was the first person who came to mind of Cora. At first Titus was uninterested in getting involved with others after his past, but he was eventually convinced to join the group. After convincing Titus, they found the noble Tarok. Tarok was a member of a noble family. But after his family had a run-in with the Mother World, Tarok wound up owing a life debt to a rancher, for whom he worked as an indentured servant. Honor-bound to see out his debt, he initially refused to join the Velt resistance, but at last they were able to convince him. Next comes Nemesis. Nemesis was a swordmaster who was partly mechanical. She cut her arms off and replaced them with robot arms as part of a rite of passage to become a warrior for her home world. The arms allowed her to wield her molten metal blades. She wielded 2 flaming swords which were powered by the gauntlets that she held. These gauntlets were ancient artifacts from her home world. She later inhabited a mining world that was ruled by the Imperium, which extracted everything useful while leaving little for the planet's inhabitants. Nemesis was already resisting the Imperium's force against her people, so she easily got convinced for the resistance. Now our Cora and team found Bloodaxe brothers and sisters duo. The Bloodaxe duo was already fighting against the Imperiums on their own with limited resources. They messed with supply lines, but ultimately never had much effect on their foes, due to the difference in scale between the two factions. But when Korra came looking for recruits to defend Velt, Darien joined them to make a bigger impact on Imperium. Currently we have known very less about the Bloodaxe family, but it is confirmed by Zack Snyder that their history will be told through the comic miniseries, Rebel Moon House of the Bloodaxe. After this our Korra and his team goes to a farming world similar to Velt, but this one had already gone through the feeding of the Imperium armies that decimated the planet. However, Mylius survived and later joined Korra's group to defend Velt from a similar fate. And here comes our last Resistance member, Jimmy. Jimmy was one of several identical androids created to defend the King of the Galactic Empire. Centuries later he was repurposed by the Imperium to do their heavy lifting and was brought to Velt when their forces demanded the moon's harvest. He was befriended by a local farmer, Sam from the planet Velt, who changed his outlook on his own existence. This change brought him to the Resistance, which helped Korra to save Velt. So by this, one by one, Korra found his team of Resistance to fight against the Imperium, so the fight began. However, what happened in the fight and what twists does it take, we doesn't know right now. Because this is the story we are telling from the released teaser. However, if you want to know more, you can check out my other Rebel Moon videos. And before we go, let's tell you a fun fact. The director Zack Snyder has revealed that Rebel Moon takes place in the same universe as his previous Netflix movie Army of the Dead. So guys, that's the fun fact, and this is the end of the video. If you guys have liked my content, please like this video, and to watch more content please subscribe my channel Soups 24/7. Thank you guys for watching, see you soon.